So hi everyone. So this is my second video in the quiz series. So I have created a playlist where I will have videos where you can learn more, because as I was saying in my introductory video, we have more than like 80 videos. We talk about Docker, Kubernetes networking, pods, deployments, and a lot of stuff. So now at some point you want to see, okay, what did I learn? So that's what I wanted to put some quiz questions out there. And since I have, so this link I will be putting in the description, but this is where your quiz is located. So this quiz is explicitly based on how well do you know Docker. So basically I tried to put the questions around Docker commands, like how do you do Docker run, Docker pull, Docker push, what do you know about it? And then what about the image layers? If you want to get the history of the layers, or how big a layer is, the thickness, the size, and a lot of things about images, and also about registry and image scanning. So in registry we have normal common registries as ECR, ACR. Artifactory is a very popular registry. So any questions related to that? So simply and then there's, you can also do all topics. So simply go to this link, and then I will run a few questions here so that it will be kind of interactive, but YouTube doesn't let me post it, and then you cannot click, right? So you have to go to actually where the quiz is on my GitHub repo, and then you have to take the quiz. But let's start taking the quiz. So this question is on image scanning. Which command runs a Trivy vulnerability scan on a local image? So Trivy is a scanner. So it's part of the Aqua product line. And so what command will it run? So Trivy scan, Trivy image, Docker scan. So since the Docker scan is a Docker command, so this is not correct. And Trivy check image. So most probably it's this one. It's because it's trying, we are asking it to scan the image. So let's see. Okay, so this is wrong. So the correct answer is Trivy image. Trivy image scans a local or remote image. Okay, so simply image will give you. Trivy is one of the most widely used open source scanner, and also supports scanning file systems, Git repos, and clusters. Okay, so that one wasn't correct. Well, let's see the next one. What happens when you tag the same image with two different tags? So this is a very good question. So basically, when you have an image and then you have a tag on it, let's say latest, but then you also have a tag which says 1.0.0. So what happens? Docker creates a full copy? No. Both tags point to the same image ID? Yes, correct. That's the correct one. The original tag is automatic. No, nothing is removed, and Docker merges. It doesn't. So this is the answer. Yes, tags are simply there to pointers which point to the same image. Multiple tags can point to the same image without duplicating any layer data. That's how the latest and the other version tags work. So for example, if we build another image version 1.2.4, then the latest tag will move up. So somebody who's just using this tag, they don't need to worry about changing their versions, because the tag, the pointer, right, it keeps on moving with the new images that are built. So let's do one more question. Now, what is copy on write strategy in Docker image layers? Okay, this is a tough one. Copy on write strategy in Docker image layers. Files are copied when an image is pushed to a registry. When a running container modifies a file, it is copied to the writable container layer before modification. All layers are copied to disk when a container starts, which anyway happens. Docker copies files from host to container on the first access. I kind of don't know. Most probably it's this one, but I don't know. Okay, that's the correct one. So what does it say? Image layers are read only. Yes, yes. When a container writes to a file that exists a read only layer, Docker copies that file up to the writable container layer first and then modifies it. So the original layer will be untouched. So that's an interesting question. Copy on write strategy. I have not used it, but most likely, if people have used it, they must see an advantage, because that's basically when you're building an image from, multiple layers, you probably will have to use a copy on write to a file, if which is, which has to be writable. Uh, Commands. Let's do one a command. Which command shows real time usage, CPU, memory, network for running containers. So this is, if you see, this is something to do with the stats, right? So it doesn't, there's inspect, there is a Docker inspect, but that will inspect the image. Docker PS checks what are the current containers running on my, system or host. It is either one of those. So Docker top, I think, or stats. I think Docker top will check the research uses for running containers. Stats. Docker stats streams live metrics for all running containers. Docker top shows process. Okay, I was pretty close, but yeah, I was wrong. So Docker top shows processes inside a container. Yes, Docker image, of course, static metadata, but stats will give you the stats of a running container. So top is like the Unix command top, which will show you all the processes running. Even though I think top does show the resources, but probably the stats will give you the clear information on the stats. So similarly, you have like 29 questions, each one of them, and there is no time limit. So I did not put any time limit because the whole idea is that you take a question, you answer it. If you didn't get it, you see what's the explanation, and then maybe in 1 week, come back and retake the quiz, so that you remember. That's how you keep on learning. So I'm not going to go through all the questions, but yes, if you want to improve your knowledge, watch some of the videos which have the basics. There are a lot of playlists which just contain Docker commands. There is a playlist for just images registry, and then come back and come here and take the quiz. So I'm going to push it to my, so I'm going to add this, so that you can directly click the link and then you can take the quiz.